Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Blazers Pulse. I say another episode, but I haven't done one of these in months. I think it was before the season was the last time I did one of these. If you guys don't know what Blazers Pulse is, it's a series that I started on True Blazer Fan. And basically, I ask you poll questions in the community tab, and then given your responses and the responses to those poll questions, I go over them in a video called Blazers Pulse. So that's what this is. Basically, I'm getting the pulse of the fan base. I'm seeing what you guys think about certain Blazer related things, and then I'm making a video on it. Leave a like on this video if you guys like this type of video. Let me know if you want to see this video a little bit more. I can make a Blazers Pulse episode a little bit more frequently than every few months. I could make it, hell, every couple weeks if you guys want it. So just let me know if you like this video and if this is something you're interested in seeing more. So with that being said, let's jump into these poll questions. Poll question number 1 asked, where do you think the Blazers will finish this season? And 47% of you voted 8th. I also think they'll find a way to finish 8th as well. Pretty much nobody said 6th or higher. 18% of you were feeling optimistic and said 7th. That would probably be the best case scenario that I can envision. Overall, we got 76% of you that think we'll still end up making a playoff run, and 24% of you think we'll miss the playoffs. Top Keck guy said, easy 8th seed, first round exit versus Clips or Nuggets. I would love to face the Nuggets. I'd love to get the 8th seed and face the Nuggets, because that's a team I think that once we're healthier, maybe figure out some things with the way we're playing, and maybe make an upgrade at the trade deadline, I think that's a team we could actually compete against and possibly knock off. I mean, we saw it last year with the roster that might be worse than we could put together this year for a postseason run. So I'd take a first round matchup against the Nuggets for sure. Joshua Burke said, the way the season is going, it's completely understandable to think we may not make the playoffs or at best make 8th. I can see a few teams ahead of us slow down, and I think we can pick it up and make the 6th seed. I think the 6th seed is too far ahead of us at this point, especially given how hard our schedule is the next 14 games or so. But the 7th seed with OKC, maybe that team slows down. That's what I'm hoping for, because the 7th seed looks like the seed that you could possibly have a first round matchup against the Nuggets or the Rockets or even the Jazz at this point, and I'd take any of those matchups. I think we could compete in any of those matchups. I just don't want to play a healthy LA team. That would spell doom for us. Question 2 says, how many trades do you think the Blazers will make this season? Who do you think will be traded? And 6% of you don't think they'll make a trade at all, which is a pretty low percentage of you guys. 29% thinks there will be 1 trade. 53% of you thinks there will be 2 trades. That's also what I think there will be. 8% of you voted for 3, and 4% of you think that Neil Olshey is going to go absolutely crazy and make 4 trades or more. And honestly, if they trade Whiteside and Bazemore in the same trade and it's some massive 3-team trade, that's basically like 2 trades to me. I think there will be something to the level of that if there's 1 trade, or, you know, they'll just trade them separately and there will be 2 trades. I think both Whiteside and Bazemore get traded. I think it's the right move, and I think that's what Neil Olshey is going to do. We had 8 comments on this poll, so I'm only going to read a couple. Joshua Collins says he's hoping for a lot of trades, but it will probably only be 1 if we are lucky. We need to get rid of our expirings. 100% agree. Joshua Burke said, my initial thought was 2 trades. However, I chose 1 simply because our franchise is known for being conservative. Joshua Burke's basically basing that off reputation, but here's what I want to say about that. Neil Olshey hasn't had contracts that he can trade the past 3 years because he overpaid Evan Turner, Myers Leonard, and Maurice Harkless in the summer of 2016. Now he finally has expiring contracts, so now he has the contracts that he's able to move. Now he actually has the means to make some deals, so I don't think you can base too much of it off the past few years. Poll question number 3 said, what mindset should the organization have for the rest of the season? And I was really interested to see the answers to this poll. And I was actually quite surprised that 71% of you said that the mindset the organization should have is to try and upgrade at the deadline, but only for long-term pieces. I think that's what they should do as well. I was just so surprised to see the majority vote for that. I thought it'd be a little bit more spread out. 13% of you said make a huge win now trade and go for it all. 4% of you said hang tight, don't make a trade, and see where this goes. 7% of you said try to win, but start playing the young guys more, and 4% of you said tank and try and get the best pick possible. I thought those final 3 answers would have a wider variety of people voting for them, but you guys agree with me thinking that we should just try and upgrade at the deadline, but this season's looking pretty rough right now, so any upgrade we get needs to be here in future years because that's going to be our time frame to really make a run. Brian Scalabrini says, just trade Hassan or Kent for a guy who's on a 2-year contract for this and next year and see if we can make a big win now move for next year. He's echoing my sentiments. That's what I've been saying this whole time. You know, don't let the expiring contracts run out and then those guys walk for nothing. Kent Bazemore is only worth a minimum contract at this point. Hassan Whiteside, I don't think will want to come back as a backup center. That would leave us in a pickle where next year, we wouldn't have the contracts to trade out to match salary for a star. Yeah, we could trade out CJ or maybe Nurkic and Rodney Hood, but that doesn't really make our team better. We need big expiring contracts next year in order to make a win now trade for a guy making a large amount of salary. So in order to get expiring contracts next year, we should trade our expiring contracts for 2-year contracts this year because those 2-year contracts will be expiring next year. So guys like Otto Porter Jr., Gorgie Jang, guys like that, they would fit a role on this team, and then they'd be big expiring contracts next year. We'd be in the same position we are this year with expiring contracts. We're just not ready to make a full-blown win now trade this year. Also, there's not really many stars available on the trade market this year. It could be a lot better for us next year. Poll 4 said, which of these things do you think the Blazers need to improve the most to be successful? And this was pretty spread out. 34% of you think that the Blazers need to improve their defensive schemes. 31% of you think that the Blazers need to improve their defensive fundamentals, which is different than defensive schemes. You know, defensive fundamentals include where they're positioned defensively, especially off the ball, their defensive rotations, and defensive fundamental things like that. 23% of you said ball movement, 9% of you said coaching adjustments, 3% of you said offensive sets. I picked the second most popular choice, which was defensive fundamentals. If you combine defensive fundamentals and defensive schemes, that's 65% of the vote. Blazers need to improve their defense. I don't think their defense should be as bad as it is. I know they don't really have great personnel, but they're struggling with some of their defensive fundamentals. Their schemes are also questionable though, so I agree with the majority in that way. Joshua Collins did make a good point. He said, don't they all go under coaching adjustments though? And I responded and I said, coaching adjustments is just more switching gears mid-game in an overall sense. I guess some of them could be considered coaching adjustments, but I viewed coaching adjustments as more of a general overall thing. And we had a lot of comments from people saying they wish they could vote for all of them. Blair Bartholomew, Mario Hazonia, Nikos Kodakris, Skater Unlimited. So yeah, I picked 5 things that I thought were problems. Just wanted to see which one of those you guys thought was the most important problem to fix. So anyway, last poll question. Usually I like to end it with a channel related question. I asked you, which type of Blazers Uprise content do you enjoy the most? And I wasn't surprised that the majority said the Uprise post-game show, 49% of you guys. 28% of you said trade talk videos, 15% of you said mailbag videos, and 7% of you said podcast, the Uprise podcast, Peeps and Plaid podcast. That's about what I expected. Trade talk is the most exciting and fresh thing right now, so I'm not surprised that that is the most popular type of video right now. I did give you guys another option. 2 of you voted for that. Nicholas Arnold said podcasts are solid, and I also like the post-game shows. No option to choose both. Happy to support Blazers Uprise. We appreciate your support, Nick. Beephead2 said, personally, I like to see videos where what they are doing wrong or right is highlighted in actual game footage. Kind of like when game commentators go to the replay and draw over the footage to show team strategy. And I'm not allowed to upload videos with NBA footage. You're technically allowed, but then that gets copyright claimed, and I just don't want to risk anything with this channel with copyright claims or use an NBA footage or anything like that. In the future though, I might make it a patron only thing. I might try and make like a weekly video where I go over some film for my Patreon donors. So it might be something like donate $1 a month or $5 a month and you'll get weekly footage breakdown of actual in-game footage. That's how I could find a workaround to that. Let me know if you guys would be interested in that in the future. Probably wouldn't do it this year, but next year, maybe that's something I could do. Let me know if you're interested in that. Trevin said post-game show, then Uprise podcast, then mailbag, then trade talks. He said that order. All videos are good, just that live stuff is better, and the mailbag is more variety than trades. So it's definitely split. If you guys got more ideas for certain types of content you want to see on this channel, leave a comment down below. We've been kind of doing the same stuff again and again. So if you guys want to see something from me, want to see something new, or maybe want to see something that I haven't done in a while, then leave me a comment down below and I'll explore that possibility. So anyway, that wraps up this episode of Blazers Pulse. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope to see that comment section filled with comments. I'll read them later. So anyway, that's a wrap. I'll see you guys later. Peace out. Go Blazers.